I lied. His scent, it never left my skin. Standing here in his doorway, watching him reach for the closet handle, my heart breaks into pieces I didn't know existed. 3 months, 3 months, since I ran away from this place, from him, from everything that felt too much like home. But here I am again, like a wounded animal crawling back to the only den it knows. His fingers wrap around the metal handle. Click. The door swings open. There it is, hanging like a ghost between his pressed shirts and winter coats. My hoodie, the gray one with the faded university logo, the one I forgot the morning I left. The morning after he kissed me. My throat closes. The fabric looks exactly the same, but I know it still holds his scent. Cedar smoke and something warm, something that made me feel safe when nothing else in the world could. You came back for this. His voice is quiet, not a question. I can't speak, can't breathe, because looking at that hoodie brings everything back. Every movie night when he'd drape his jacket over my shoulders without asking. Every time I'd pretend to fall asleep against his chest just to feel his heartbeat under my cheek. Every morning I'd wake up drowning in his scent, my omega glands singing with one I was too scared to name. We were roommates, just roommates. That's what I told myself every night when I'd press my face into his pillow after he left for work. When I'd steal his shirts from the laundry and sleep in them, pretending it didn't mean anything. But then came that night, the night everything changed. I was sick, fever burning through me, nightmares clawing at my sleep. And he stayed. Sat by my bed all night, his cool palm on my forehead, his fingers in my hair, gentle like I was something precious, something worth caring for. Breathe with me, he whispered when the dreams got too dark. I'm here, I'm right here. And I believed him. For one stupid, beautiful moment, I let myself believe someone could love the broken parts of me. But morning came. Morning always comes. And with it, the shame, the fear, the voice in my head screaming that this was wrong, that I was wrong, that someone like him could never really want someone like me. So I ran. Left that hoodie behind like evidence of a crime. I couldn't bear to remember. Now he's pulling it from the hanger. And my knees go weak because I can smell it from here. Cedar smoke and warmth and everything I've been missing for 3 months. Everything I've been lying about forgetting. I washed all your other things, he says, voice breaking on the words. Sent them to your new place. But this one, he holds it up between us. My scent must still be there too. Faint but present. Vanilla and rain. And all the tears I cried into that fabric the night he first held me. I couldn't let it go. His fingers traced the hoodie's fabric like it's made of spun glass, like it might disappear if he touches too hard. You wore this the night you stayed. His voice cracks on the last word. The night I stayed, the night everything fell apart. I remember. God, how could I forget? Fever dreams and his cool palm on my burning forehead. His gentle fingers combing through my sweat-damp hair. The way he whispered my name like a prayer. When the nightmares came. I'm here, he kept saying. Breathe with me. And I did. For the first time in my life I let someone else's rhythm guide mine. Let his steady heartbeat become the soundtrack to my healing. Woke up pressed against his chest, our legs tangled together, his arm protective around my waist. In that moment, with sleep still heavy in my eyes and his scent surrounding me like a cocoon, I felt safe, complete, like all the broken pieces of me had finally found their missing parts. But then the sun rose, and with it came the questions I couldn't answer. Why does he care so much? Why does he remember every small thing about me? The way I like my coffee. How I always steal the covers. The fact that I can't sleep without some kind of light. Why does he look at me like I matter? The kindness felt too real, too dangerous, because people like him don't love people like me. Not really. Not forever. You were burning up, he says now, still holding my hoodie. I was so scared I might lose you. Lose me, like I was his to lose in the first place. My glands ache with confused longing. That space between my neck and shoulder where alphas are supposed to mark their omegas. Where his mouth had been so close that night, his breath warm against my skin. He never bit me, never claimed me, but somehow I felt claimed anyway. Why did you keep it? The words slip out before I can stop them. He looks up from the fabric, meets my eyes for the first time since I walked in here. His pupils are dilated, like he's fighting some internal war. Because it smells like you, he whispers. Like us, like that night when you let me take care of you. My heart stutters, because there it is again. That dangerous kindness, that way he has of making me feel wanted instead of needed, cherished instead of convenient. I shouldn't have. You should have stayed. The words hang between us, heavy and sharp. He sets the hoodie down on the bed, takes a step toward me. His scent gets stronger, cedar smoke mixing with something else now, something possessive and warm. You should have stayed and let me love you properly. Love? He said love. My omega instincts sing in response, glands releasing the faintest trace of submission scent before I can stop them. His nostrils flare. His hands clench into fists at his sides. But you ran instead. His voice is rougher now. Left me with nothing but this hoodie and the memory of how perfect you felt in my arms. I want to tell him why. Want to explain about the fear, the shame, the voice in my head that says I don't deserve good things. But the words stick in my throat because he's looking at me like I'm the answer to a question he's been asking his whole life. And maybe I am. Don't touch it. But he's already lifting the hoodie to his face, eyes closing as he breathes deep, and I watch frozen as something shifts in his expression. His jaw clenches, his grip tightens on the fabric. That's when it hits me. Preheat, sudden and violent, like lightning splitting me open from the inside. My glands throb, releasing sweet panic scent into the air, before I can stop it. The room fills with the smell of vanilla and desperation and pure undiluted need. His eyes snap open, dark, predatory, all pupil and wants. You're in heat. Not a question, a statement, a claim. I back against the wall, legs shaking. This isn't supposed to happen. My heat isn't due for another week. But being here in his space surrounded by his scent while he holds something that smells like both of us, my body doesn't care about schedules. It only cares about him. I need to go. My voice comes out broken, barely a whisper. But he's already moving, setting the hoodie aside and taking a step toward me. Then another, his own scent thickening the air, cedar smoke turning into something darker, something that makes my knees weak and my glands pulse with want. Let me help. Two simple words that undo me completely. You don't understand. I press myself harder against the wall. I can't, not again. I can't handle it if you change your mind. He stops inches from me, close enough that I can feel the heat radiating from his skin, close enough that his scent wraps around me like a claim. I'm not going to change my mind. His hand lifts slowly, giving me time to pull away. I can't. Watch like I'm hypnotized as his thumb brushes against the gland on my neck. Barely a touch. Light as air. The contact sends fire through my veins. I gasp, knees buckling. Only his other hand, sudden and sure against my waist, keeps me upright. And God, the way he's looking at me. Like I'm something precious. Something he's been starving for. Please. I don't even know what I'm begging for anymore. His thumb traces circles over my gland, each touch setting off explosions under my skin. My scent gets stronger, sweeter, advertising my need to anyone within a mile radius. But there's only him here. Only us and the terrible beautiful want crackling between us. I've got you, he murmurs, voice rough with his own need. I'm not going anywhere this time. This time, like he knows I'm going to run again. Like he's already planning to chase me. Physical need wars with emotional terror in my chest. Because this is exactly what I was afraid of. This moment when everything becomes too real, too intense, when I have to choose between what I want and what I think I deserve. His scent is everywhere now. In my nose, on my skin, soaking into my clothes, marking me in ways that have nothing to do with teeth and everything to do with the way he's looking at me. Like he's already decided. Like the choice was made long before I walked back into his life. I can't stop this, I whisper against his neck. Then don't. It happens so fast I don't have time to prepare. One moment his thumb is tracing gentle circles on my gland, his touch careful and controlled. The next his whole body goes rigid against mine. His breathing changes, gets heavier, more desperate. His rut crashes into him like a freight train. I feel the exact moment his careful control shatters. His scent explodes through the room. so thick and possessive I can taste it on my tongue. Cedar smoke and claiming, and something so purely alpha that my knees give out completely. He catches me before I hit the ground. Strong arms wrapping around me, pulling me against his chest as my world tilts sideways. Everything blurs together, his scent flooding my senses, the feeling of his heart hammering against my cheek, the way his hands shake as they hold me like I'm the most precious thing in the world. Fuck. His voice is wrecked. Barely human. Fuck. I'm sorry. I can't stop this. But I don't want him to stop. My heat-addled brain can only focus on how right this feels. How perfectly I fit against him. How his scent wraps around me like a blanket. Like armor. Like home. His protective instincts have taken over completely. I can feel it in the way he holds me, like he's ready to fight the entire world to keep me safe. In the way he keeps whispering apologies against my hair even as his hands map every inch of my body, checking for injuries that don't exist. I'm okay, I try to tell him, but the words come out slurred. My own scent is getting stronger too, sweet vanilla mixing with his cedar smoke until the air is thick enough to swim through. He lifts me like I weigh nothing, carries me to his bed and sets me down so gently I could cry. His pupils are blown wide, but his hands are still so careful, still so tender. Tell me to stop, he begs, voice breaking on every word. Please, tell me to stop, and I will. I'll lock myself in the bathroom until this passes. Just tell me to leave you alone. But I can't, won't. Because this is what I've been running from for 3 months. This moment when all pretenses fall away, and we're left with nothing but raw, honest need. Don't stop, I whisper. Something breaks in his expression. Relief and desperation and possession all tangled together. His mouth finds my gland and I arch off the bed, electricity shooting through every nerve ending. He doesn't bite, not yet, just presses soft kisses to the sensitive skin while his hands frame my face like I'm something holy. I'm sorry, he keeps saying between kisses. I'm so sorry, I can't control it. I can't control anything when it comes to you. But I can taste salt on his lips, tears. He's crying and I don't understand why until I realize I'm crying too. Both of us broken open by want and fear and the terrible beauty of finally giving in. His scent surrounds me completely now, soaks into my skin, my hair, my clothes until I can't tell where he ends and I begin. And maybe that's the point. Maybe this is what claiming really means. Not just a bite mark on my neck, but the complete surrender of boundaries. The acknowledgement that we belong to each other in ways that have nothing to do with biology and everything to do with choice. Time stops meaning anything. There's only his voice in my ear, rough with emotion. His hands on my skin, worshipping every inch like he's trying to memorize me. The way he breathes my name like a prayer. Like a promise, like an apology for taking so long to say it out loud. When it's over, when the worst of his rut has passed and my heat has settled into a manageable ache, silence stretches between us like a chasm. He pulls away. Not physically. His arms are still around me. His chest still pressed against my back. But I feel the emotional distance opening up like a wound. Feel him retreating into that careful, controlled space where he keeps all his doubts. I shouldn't have done that. The words hit me like a slap. You said you forgot my scent. He continues, voice hollow. Said it didn't affect you anymore. But I let my instincts take over anyway. I'm no better than... Don't. I turn in his arms. Force him to look at me. Don't you dare apologize for this. But the horror in his eyes tells me it's too late. He's already convincing himself that he took advantage. That I didn't really want this. That everything we just shared was just biology. Just hormones, just a mistake. You were in heat, he says quietly. I should have been stronger, should have waited until you could think clearly. And there it is, the reason I ran 3 months ago. Not because I didn't want him, but because I was terrified he'd wake up one day and decide I wasn't worth the trouble. That what we had wasn't real. That it was all just omega biology, making me seem more appealing than I actually was. I need some air, I whisper, already pulling away from him. He doesn't try to stop me. Just watches with those dark, guilty eyes as I gather my clothes and stumble toward the door. Wait, he calls out when I reach the threshold. Your hoodie. I look back. He's holding it out to me, my gray hoodie that still smells like both of us.
Oh,
Like the life we could have had if I wasn't so good at running away. Keep it, I tell him. Maybe it'll help you remember this was real. Then I'm gone, leaving him alone with his regrets and the lingering scent of what we almost had. The rain hits me the moment I step outside. Cold, merciless drops that soak through my thin shirt within seconds. But I don't stop walking. Can't stop, because if I stop, I'll turn around and go back to him, and I can't handle seeing that look in his eyes again. That mixture of guilt and regret and horror at what we did, at what I made him do. His scent clings to my skin like a brand. Cedar smoke and possession and the memory of his hands on my body. I try to wash it off with the rain, tilting my face up to the sky and letting the water run down my neck, over the gland he kissed so carefully. But it's impossible to wash away. It's soaked too deep, settled into my bones like it belongs there. The bus stop is empty except for me, and the ghosts of all the times I've run away before. I sink onto the wet bench and press my sleeve against my glands, trying to scrub away the evidence of what we shared, trying to erase the mark he didn't actually leave. But that I feel anyway. Stop. His voice cuts through the rain like a knife. I don't look up, don't acknowledge him standing there in the downpour without a jacket, hair plastered to his head and eyes wild with something that looks like panic. Stop running from me. I'm not running. The lie tastes bitter on my tongue. You are. He takes a step closer and I can smell him even through the rain. Still so strong, so present. You've been running for 3 months. Running from this, from us, from everything we could be. I finally look at him then, and the sight nearly breaks me. He's soaked to the bone, shivering, but his eyes are fierce, determined, like he's made some kind of decision while I was out here drowning in self-pity. You think I don't know? His voice is raw, broken. You think I don't know? You dream about me too. My breath catches, because he's right. I do dream about him. Every night for 3 months I've woken up reaching for someone who wasn't there. My body aching with phantom touches and half-remembered kisses. I know you left that hoodie on purpose, he continues, taking another step closer. Knew you wanted me to keep it. Wanted some part of you to stay even when you couldn't. That's not. You're scared. He's close enough to touch now, rain running down his face like tears. I know you're scared, but so am I. His hands cup my face, thumbs brushing away the mixture of rain and tears. I didn't realize I was crying. His touch is warm despite the cold, gentle despite the desperation in his eyes. I'm scared of losing you again, he whispers. Scared of waking up tomorrow and finding out this was all just some heat-induced dream. Scared that you'll keep running until I can't find you anymore. The walls I've built around my heart start to crumble, because this is what I've been waiting for. Without knowing it, not just the physical claiming, but this, the emotional honesty, the admission that he wants me even when I'm difficult, even when I'm broken, even when I run. I was scared too, I admit, voice barely audible over the rain. Scared you'd realize I'm not worth all this trouble. Not worth it? His grip on my face tightens, not painful but possessive. You're worth everything. You're worth chasing through the rain. Worth 3 months of sleepless nights and wearing your hoodie to bed just to feel close to you. His scent wraps around me again, warm and safe and absolutely certain. Like a promise he's making with his whole body. Like a claim that has nothing to do with bites and everything to do with choice. Come home with me, he says. Please, let me prove to you that this is real. Home, not his apartment, not his bed, but home, the place where I belong. Where I've always belonged even when I was too scared to stay. I'm still scared, I whisper. Then be scared with me, he says, pressing his forehead against mine. But don't run anymore. Don't leave me alone with your ghost again. I nod, not trusting my voice. Let him take my hand and lead me back through the rain. Back to the place I should never have left. Back to him. Back in his apartment, dripping rainwater onto his floor. He wraps my hoodie around my shoulders. The one he kept. The one that still holds both our scents like a secret. I never washed it, he confesses. Voice quiet in the sudden stillness of his living room. Your scent, it was the only thing that helped me sleep. I breathe deep, and it's all there. Vanilla and cedar smoke and 3 months of longing soaked into cotton fibers. The smell of us, preserved like pressed flowers between pages of a book. I used to steal your shirts, I admit, pulling the hoodie tighter around myself. And before, when we were roommates, I'd take them from the laundry and sleep in them, pretending it didn't mean anything. He's quiet for a long moment, just watching me with those dark eyes that see too much. It meant everything, he says finally. We stand there in the dim light, both of us soaked and shivering, but neither of us willing to break this fragile moment, this honesty we've been dancing around for months. I didn't forget, I whisper against his neck when he pulls me close. Your scent, your touch, the way you held me that night. I was lying, I never forgot any of it. His arms tighten around me, possessive and protective and absolutely certain. I know, he murmurs into my hair. I could smell the lie on you the moment you walked in, could smell how much you missed me underneath all that fear. Of course he knew. Alphas always know. But he waited anyway, let me come to him in my own time, in my own way. Mine, he breathes, and the word settles into my bones like it was always meant to be there. You've always been mine. Even when you were running. Even when you were scared. Even when you were pretending to forget. The hoodie falls forgotten as he marks me properly this time. Not with teeth, not yet, but with scent and touch and whispered promises against my skin. His glands singing in harmony with mine until the air around us is thick with claiming, with belonging, with home. I love you, he says, and the words hit me like lightning. I've loved you since the first night you fell asleep on my chest. Since the first time you stole one of my shirts. Since the moment you walked into my life and made everything make sense. Love, not want, not need, but love. The thing I've been too scared to hope for. I love you too, I whisper back and feel something broken inside me finally heal. I'm sorry I ran. I'm sorry I was scared. Don't apologize for being human, he says, lips brushing against my gland. Just don't run again. Promise me. I promise. And I mean it, because standing here in his arms, surrounded by his scent and his warmth and his absolute certainty that I belong here, I finally understand what home really is. Home was never a place. It was never four walls and a roof and furniture arranged just so. Home is Alpha's arms around me in the dark. Home is his scent on my skin and his heartbeat steady against my ear. Home is the way he looks at me like I'm the answer to every question he's ever asked. Home is here, with him, where I should have been all along. The hoodie lies forgotten on the floor. No longer needed now that I have the real thing. Now that I have him, and he has me, and we have each other. Forever.